the important thing is to have transferable skills. So if there's something that I can do in dance, I should be able to apply that same method or at least some of those same skills in a certain way in painting. And I should be able to do that when I'm learning maths, when I'm learning Arabic, when I'm learning anything else that I find an interest in. Like, the skills should be transferable. So I think it's gonna happen anyway, you know, even just by accident, like you're gonna find that they affect each other. But I think it's kind of important that they do, you know?
Sup. Sup.
I freelance with dancing and portrait work at the moment. If you can see behind me, working on something for that. And what I'm doing with you is an interview on how I got high level at dancing and at art. For battles, it would be, I have to get in that competing mindset, you know? So it has to be maybe battle training or just watching battles or just watching sports or something that puts me in a position where I know that I'm going to compete against someone else. I'll still do some training sessions by myself at home, you know, like regularly, even if it's just for like half an hour or so, and just pop a song on and just do some solos just to get myself in that mode of dancing and being comfortable with my movement. And if I'm painting, which is something I've only come across recently actually, but I have to think about the action of painting on a canvas or painting on a page or just the actual action of drawing or doing something. Like, it has to be about the movement first. Do I prefer dancing or art? Well, depending on the day I do, like for sure. Like I have, and depending on what mood I'm in, always like it'll fluctuate like that. Like, so whether I prefer dancing or art, but I don't really care, you know, like in the long, grand scheme of things. Like, I don't really care. Like, if someone were to take them both away, I'd fill it with something else that I'd want to learn, you know. Like, it's more that I just like learning, you know, and it's just that art in almost any aspect facilitates that really well, because it's not like you can finish or win or complete learning when it comes to anything artistic, you know? So, like, yeah, dance, art, if it wasn't those, it would just be music or science or engineering or something, you know, something that just facilitates learning in a really broad sense. So I think, yeah, I don't really have a preference. Like, I dance around within them a lot as well. So even if it's painting, within art, for example, I'll draw loads. I use different mediums for painting. I'll use digital as well, so like Photoshop or Illustrator. I like animation as well. So when it comes to dancing, started out breaking, then went to popping, tried locking, started doing hip hop this year as well. And then theatre work, choreography. I don't really care what it is, you know. I just like the idea of learning expression, and usually something that involves a bit of movement, even if it's just hands, you know. Like, I like that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, say you're playing a game, for example, and you've got a specific way to play it, you know? Or having any set of rules where you're required to do something a specific way. It's like art, you don't have that. You just get freedom to do whatever you want. So if I'm dancing in one way, or I'm thinking about it in that aspect, like, that's just how I think, you know? Like my personality is just pouring into that thing. So when it comes to painting, same thing, my personality is just going to pour into that. I think it's about keeping myself engaged. I think that's the important thing. I think that's as simple as it is. I'm not good with structure in terms of like monotonous continuity. I think that's tedious, man, really. Like, I think sitting myself aside and saying, all right, 8 hours on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're painting. Tuesday, and then Tuesday for 6 hours you're dancing, 2 hours learning Arabic, like whatever it is. By the time I get to 1 on the Monday, I already want to change my plans, you know, like it's so boring. Like, so I think it's about keeping myself engaged, and I think that changes kind of ad hoc, you know, like it has to be adjustable. It has to be like the structure that the loose structure I put in place on myself has to be malleable. You know, it has to be flexible for me to be able to do different things. So I would say keeping myself engaged is the important thing, in terms of knowing when to take regular breaks, knowing that I can only use my brain to an optimum level for a certain period during the day. So let's say like 8 hours, which I think is rough, but I think is about for as much as I can focus in a day, maybe 10 on like a good day. So if it goes past 8 hours, I know that any task I do after that, I'm working at a lesser level than I would be, or that I would like myself to be, you know. And I think because I like to get hyper focused on things, that especially that I'm pursuing, it doesn't bode well for me to have a rigid structure in things if I know that I've burnt myself out after 6 hours and I should be working for another 4. You know, like it doesn't work well. In dancing right now, it's just about enjoying it. Like I went through, to lower the tone a little bit, I went through some quite complex, I think, mental health problems for the last like 5, 6, 7 years, maybe more. And I think I wasn't able to really enjoy what I was doing. I feel mentally healthier, mentally stronger right now. So I think now for me, dance is just about enjoying whatever it is that I do, you know? Like I've done a lot of different things within dance, so I'm kind of happy with that. With art though, with painting, sorry, the idea is to right now compete. So there are a lot of competitions, a lot of exhibitions that are around our country, around Europe, around America, around the world actually, specifically portrait and wildlife competitions that I'll be entering, that I'm really making an effort to up my skill level and up my standard and up my quality of my work for. So I would say to keep an eye out for myself amongst the portrait scene, portrait painting scene and the wildlife painting scene in the UK, I would say, for the next year.